Bangladesh has escalated efforts to hold Sheikh Hasina accountable, formally requesting her extradition from India through a diplomatic note verbale. Dhaka seeks to bring the former Prime Minister to face legal proceedings for alleged crimes. The Bangladesh-based International Crimes Tribunal has issued an arrest warrant for Sheikh Hasina, former ministers, advisors, as well as military and civil officials for crimes against humanity and genocide. Sheikh Hasina faces serious allegations ranging from the embezzlement of $5 billion in the Rupar nuclear power project to human rights violations, including extrajudicial killings. She is also accused of election manipulation to maintain power, political patronage by favoring family and allies in government contracts, and suppressing dissent through a crackdown on opposition voices. Now, Sheikh Hasina, remember, has been living in exile since 5th of August when she fled the country amid the student-led protests that toppled her 16-year regime. India and Bangladesh's extradition treaty facilitates the transfer of individuals for offences carrying over a year of imprisonment, provided the offence is punishable under the laws of both countries. A 2016 amendment streamlined this process, allowing extradition based solely on an arrest warrant. However, the treaty excludes political offences from extradition, barring serious crimes like murder and terrorism. Let me go across to my guest on the show tonight. Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goel is joining us to help us understand what happens next. Ambassador Goel, good evening. Namaskar. First of all, I want to understand from you, Ambassador Goel, how this moves forward now. Does India hold the right to reject this extradition request by the Yunus administration under the treaty that the two countries share?
It's a bit of a complex situation now. I mean, there are two sides to it, I would say. One is strictly formal, protocol-wise diplomatic responses. Now, when Bangladesh has issued a note verbale in terms of the extradition treaty between the two countries, which actually does allow extradition of people, there are exceptions and there are conditions and so on and so forth. But the fact is that once a note verbale has been issued to a government, that government is diplomatic practices bound to reply to the note. Now, that is where it actually leads to a very kind of a tricky situation. What is the government of India going to say in that note? I'm not going to go into the details, but it does lead to a very ticklish situation where the government of India is bound to make a response. That response can either ignore the demand made by Bangladesh, or it can basically give explanations and so on and so forth. All said and done, in either of the cases, normally I would say that I would not have expected. In fact, I think it was one of your shows, not Shreya, you, but Virar now, where I said that I would not expect Bangladesh government to make a formal request for handover of Sheikh Hasina in view of the relations between India and Bangladesh. And that relations is not just basically a kind of a relation between Sheikh Hasina and Prime Minister Modi, but it's an important relationship, trade and everything. But Bangladesh has chosen to issue a note, which actually binds the government of India to issue a reply. And that is where the trick comes in, really. So it's a bit of a problem. And clearly, if the note has been issued, Bangladesh government has no intention at all to look the other way politically. So it's an open, it's a kind of a
Ambassador Goel
issue. Yes, sorry. Let me just complete this sentence. And
Ambassador Goel, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ambassador Goel. There's also an exception if the allegation is political in nature, but it bars charges such as murder and genocide from the exception under the treaty that the two countries share. Would Sheikh Hasina's case come under political charges because of the fact that she was forced to exile as Prime Minister of Bangladesh, or would it not have that exception because she's been charged with murder and genocide?
See, what I'm saying here is, it does not matter under what category the charges are made. or under what category do you consider the charges?
Okay.
Because in either case, if Sheikh Hasina is in India, the government of India will have to first of all acknowledge that she was given asylum or she was given shelter in India. And then the government of India will have to explain as to why they will or they will not extradite Sheikh Hasina. Either of that is going to be a political call. It is not just a technical call. Therefore, what I'm saying here is that for Bangladesh government to force the government of India into making that political call is a little strange to my mind. They should not have done it. And if they've done it, I think they're precipitating a kind of a political response which may not be very welcome. It doesn't matter political offense, whether they genocide. I don't think that is a question at all really here.
Yeah.
Yes, Shreya.
Okay. It obviously then, Ambassador Goel, puts India on a tight spot because you've got, Sheikh Hasina, who's been a long-term friend and ally of India. In fact, Prime Minister Modi has also called her his sister. And we've had healthy relationship as far as our ties with Bangladesh is concerned. On the other hand, you have a Yunus administration who's come in, and obviously India would like to have a stable, healthy relationship with the new administration in a neighboring country as well. And therefore, what are the options? How should India be tackling it? How would India be tackling it?
That is the issue, and I think you put the whole thing into the perspective there, really. Given the fact that India will not like to make that kind of a political call on the leader of a country with whom we have had very good relations so far, that's going to be a tough call, really. And therefore, I think the note Verbale has the sole intention of putting the government of India into a bind. Now, that is not something that is very welcome or very healthy, as far as that is concerned. Number two, relationship with Muhammad Yunus. If Muhammad Yunus government or Muhammad Yunus team chooses to come continuously inside India, and we know what is happening there, we can see the continuous action against the minorities. We see continuous action to encourage Pakistan training of the army, Bangladesh army, encouraging Pakistan to come into Bangladesh, even at the security risk, even at the security sensitivities of the government of India. Then all I can say is that Muhammad Yunus government does not really care for the sensitivities of the government of India. And under those circumstances, the government of India can choose to say, if that is what their attitude is, then we need to really determine our own options and see what we can do. So it's actually a call. It's a call which is not very welcome. It's not very, very healthy. And I was hoping that Muhammad Yunus government will actually go in a different direction.
In the meantime, Ambassador Goel, can Sheikh Hasina travel to another country now? Does she still have that option? And, take exile there?
From the published records, I don't even know whether she is in India or not. From the published records, I'm saying. So, I don't know. Of course, she can travel. She can. It all depends upon the country to which she travels. And she will have to choose that very carefully.
Okay, so we'll have to see how this really moves forward. Let's wait and watch. Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goel, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us a better understanding of what lies ahead now. Of course, a lot of questions being raised on how Yunus administration is moving ahead in Bangladesh as well, as far as its relationship with a friendly country like India is concerned. So we'll have to wait and watch now how the Indian government responds. Thank you very much, Ambassador Goel, for joining us on Global Mirror and sharing your perspective.